3, 2. Welcome to the 48th episode of the Daft Previews podcast. It's Dan and Luke, and we back at it again. In today's episode, we'll be previewing Game 2 of the NRL State of Origin out west in Perth. We're also aware that there are other rugby league games happening this weekend from a lot of the Pacific nations out there, but we won't be talking about those things too much. We're going to stick to what we're good at. We'll stick to what we know best. And that's White Australia football. Luke, how keen are you for this game, mate?
I'm nervous. I'm very nervous.
What are you nervous
about? Seven changes.
Someone's rattled.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying when you lose by 6 and you make more changes than points. So, it'll be a good game. It's a Sunday. What are your thoughts on a Sunday State of Origin standalone weekend as a whole?
I fucking hate it. I don't like waiting that long. I love Wednesday football. It is so good. Like, it's the best week. Like, it's so good. Like, that is what Hump Day is supposed to be about. Like, just getting to the middle of your work week and knowing, fuck, yes, I can look forward to this. Then I can talk about how great it is tomorrow. And then I've got one day of work. Not a big fan of Sunday football.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't know.
You also can't sink heaps of piss and stuff. You know, you got to work the next day.
If they did it on a Saturday, would you be more keen? Like, I think Saturday.
Yeah, but the other thing I don't like about it is you don't see NRL football. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, true. I prefer
Wednesday night, but I wouldn't mind a Saturday with it on.
Because you know, like this
advantage in things like
US boxing.
They're always on a Saturday night. You can imagine, going out for beers and
watching UFC and
not having to worry about like
fishing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of playing games
outside of New South Wales and Queensland.
Yeah, I get that. We've got to grow the game though. As long as they're not going overseas with it. So, but fuck it. Do you want to tell everyone what's going on with your internet, mate? What's the situation like?
It's pretty shit. NBN can get fucked. Fucked. So,
it's been 6 weeks
now.
Out today, looking at the place. Tommy was connected.
Yeah.
Turns out it's missing, something's not right, so someone's coming up tomorrow.
So again, I'm basically borrowing the neighbour's net. Hopefully, will be for the last time.
Because it's driving me fucking.
So thanks for everyone in the chat. But
we're just
we just got to push through. Mate. Before we talk about all things State of Origin, we did lay down some best bets last week. I got fucking closer than a motherfucker. I had a $34 multi, Sharks over 29, Panthers over 34, Eels over 22, Knights over 15, and the Dogs over 22. Got 4 out of 5, and the only one to fuck me was the Sharks. Like, I thought that was one of the safest ones for the Sharks to put points on the fucking Titans. Then he's got 18 points, the wankers. So,
yeah, it was an interesting game because they looked all right at points there, but it was closer than it should have been. Like, Moylan played pretty well.
Did he? I didn't watch it. I was out on the beers. I was just looking at the score. I'm like, what is this? Just refreshing it. I'm like, surely this is fucked. Hopped into the Discord channel and I saw everyone's complaining. So I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
It was close. Look, very profitable weekend. I think I withdrew $2,000 from a sports bet account. I then unloaded $1,500 on ASOS yesterday, so making sure I don't give it back. You get your winnings, pull it into your account. Once it hits the account, you spend it. That's how you make sure you don't put it back. How'd your best bets go?
2-2. So I had the under 42.5 in the Cowboys Manly game, and that was to lose a bet sucks most of the time, obviously, but that was a weird fucking game. That last 7 minutes when Cowboys just played shit all game and Manly were the better team for 73 minutes than to lose like that. And then the other leg where I got done was the Raiders. I had Raiders minus 10.5. I thought the Newcastle Knights were shit. They were shit.
You were coming home at halftime, right?
Yeah. And
beware the fader.
The faders are back, but also classic Knights, like they're so fucking shit they can't hang on for one set and concede a soft try. And you could see it coming. That last try you knew was coming. So I missed out on those two. Obviously, Para covering the line against the Roosters, that was pretty straightforward. They always were expecting a bounce back in that game as well. So should have gone Brave and gone Penrith to cover the line because Penrith look like the only team that are playing strong football at the moment.
Well, we said that. Well, I said that 24.5 looks too short to me.
Yeah, and considering they were taking half their team off at different points, they could have won by more. They're just cruising at the moment. I think the only thing that can stop Penrith at the moment is Penrith. Like it's just injuries or something because they are cruising.
Absolutely. We are shooting this son of a bitch live, so the chat is firing up. If you are in the chat, feel free to fire away, ask any questions. I'd prefer you didn't roast my fucking appearance, lads. Just sit there and enjoy the fucking show, would ya? But feel free to ask any questions throughout. If you are watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, do that whole fucking algorithm bullshit. Throw some support up for your boys. If you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple Music, follow the lads. You get notified whenever we post something new. Talking about this game. So you brought it up a little bit. It's been on all the shows. Everyone's talking about all these changes. I do agree with some of them, but I do think for a team that only lost by 6, and it's not like you could argue if they ran that exact same team, they can probably win. They just didn't play very well. You know, like give these blokes a chance to fire up. They just weren't ready for it. But you're a proud New South Welshman. What are your thoughts on all the changes? What do you like? What don't you like? What's going on here?
I love Api Coruscant being named to start as well as just being in the team. I think Damien Cook hasn't been the best Damien Cook he's been in a few years now, but where Damien Cook plays his best football is on a pack that rolls forward. Where he can take off. The second that pack gets stopped or slowed down, he struggles, whereas Api is very good at moving the markers around and controlling the ruck. So I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, he's crafty. Yeah, he's a craftier dummy half, whereas Cookie is a more explosive dummy half. And if New South Wales forwards are pummeling Queensland, then Cook is the best hooker for that position. But we just needed someone a bit crafty to, steal a few meters, get a set restart, catch them late. Like that's where Api's very good at, and his service to Cleary and Luai and Yo, for example. You only have to watch the Panthers; it's just always on point. So I like that change, and I like the two hookers because I think that's where Queensland kind of fucked us over in the game one was Ben Hunt and Harry Grant. The other changes, I still think Addo Carr is so unlucky to miss out. I still stand by it. We picked a team where we were so worried about what the opposition were going to do. Instead of going, no, fuck them, we're going to pick our best team and they can try and stop us. Fight fire with fire, you could say. But the fact since then he's just gone, apart from the weekend, obviously against the Tigers, but he's exploded with scoring tries since being left out of the first squad. Plus Burton in the centres. So I know it's not the exact combination of the Dogs, but if you can have Burton there, just those little grubbers in behind, which seem to catch defenses out, put out a car there. And who cares about the height thing? Like, I don't know why we've gone down that path, but I think there's still some question marks. I'm not sure about Talakai on the bench as well. So game one, Crichton on the bench made no sense to me. And he ended up just coming on when we're behind to chase the game. Talakai, I think you take that Manly game out, and do you think he gets into Origin?
I think it's his versatility because they already know that Cook's only going to cover 9, and like Appy can probably play lock for a little bit, but they're kind of limited in what positions they can cover, whereas Talakai can cover in the middle, second row, and your centers, depending on what happens.
I still don't understand why they're worrying about that stuff. Like if they get injured.
Well, it's the concussion thing. It's not like a full injury they're worried about. It's probably just concussions because that shit can happen.
But yeah,
Anyway.
your 18th man covers that.
It's only if it's an illegal one.
Right.
The 18th man's only if it's concussion because of an illegal play, or if you get 3 concussions.
Yeah. But I'll tell you who I New South Wales weren't so afraid defensive lose this. It's if they weren't going to pick out a car, pick Suwali. He's fucking scary good.
I know. Yeah,
compared to Cobbo, they're both at similar. It's not like he's not ready for Origin. You'd say that Cobbo's not ready for Origin. Put Suwali in there. You'd get some. You don't worry about your then.
I think if the Blues lose this game, he's definitely playing game 3 because it's a risk, right? The young lads could get nervous. He's got the talent for it, but he can get a bit shaky. Like even Cobbo, he was a risk, but you can risk Cobbo in game 1 in New South Wales because if you fuck it up, you've got a neutral venue, then you've got a home game, and you can go a bit safer. Whether you go Tuolangi or Oates, whatever the options were, you could risk Cobbo, and I think for the Blues now, it's a bit too risky for them. But yeah, definitely, I think you could argue that he's a better winger than Cobbo is. I think he is. I think he's a better player than Cobbo.
Yeah, he's got
better hands. He's a better defender. He's a better runner of the ball.
Defend. Yeah, he's got easy Folau all about him.
Yeah. So
but
he's
overall, I don't mind the changes. Obviously, something had to change with the plan we ran with the first game didn't work, and they turned around and said, "Oh, everyone's figured out how to stop clearing Penrith." But then since then, they've just rolled through the teams they played, but they've absolutely not even slowed down. So why not just pick more Penrith players and put all of them in the starting lineup? That's what they've done. So stack the Penrith players in there.
Interesting. Because yes, all the Penrith players are great, but they're also coached by Ivan Cleary. Freddie's a different coach. He's not going to coach and have the same structures. Or he may. Who knows? But what do you think?
The only player who I do not understand, even though he's not in the starting and the reserves, Clint Gutherson. What the fuck is he doing in there? There's a player who I think is like the most overrated player. It's Gutherson. Why is he in there? Like fucking Dylan Edwards is playing way better. Get Dylan. Like Gutherson's played Origin, so it's not an experience thing. It's I don't know about that.
I think the Gutherson thing is because he's so average at everything. Like he's not shit. But he's average at everything, which means you see him pop up in so many different ways. Like he does a lot of good shit, but he's not the best at anything at all.
Yeah,
but I think Gutherson again, it's that utility thing. If there are injuries, because they're fucking on the other side of the country, right? So it's like if they get COVID or if there's an outbreak or whatever it is, you've got him there just in case. They don't want to play him, but just in case, What do you think of the Gerbo edition?
I don't mind it because I think I know he's not naturally a prop, but you just saw in the first game there, Campbell Gillard and Barlow, whatever the name is, doesn't work. So you can't have Payne Haas, and Campbell, like those three big boys. Just the game's gone away from that. This and if anything, Origin's always a faster game, so your bigger men aren't as effective. So I think I don't mind bringing him in there because he's just going to tackle and defend, and he's just going to get instructions to slow down the ruck. That's all he's going to tell. Like that's what Freddie's going to say to him. Just slow them down.
Yeah, I think I do like it, especially if he's starting. So you get Gerbo and Payne. They're complete opposites in what they bring. And I think if you're smart, you could use it. use that to your advantage because Payne defensively doesn't miss tackles, but he doesn't slow anyone down. He doesn't
No.
stop people from coming forward, whereas that's what Gerbo's all about. But I think about how they're going to make meters. Obviously, in game one, the backs for New South Wales were making so many meters. Like the wingers made 200 each. And
I think they'll
Turbo,
do the same thing.
yeah. And Teddy
I don't think they.
ran for
Yeah.
200 as well. So
I don't think Jake Travojevic is in there to make meters. They didn't. It's to slow down the Queensland ruck and control, and then Appy's in there to control the New South Wales ruck and attack. I think that's purely.
Hopefully Liam Martin makes some fucking meters. You see how many meters he made in game one?
32 or 33 or something. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
I think.
I think
But again, that's
tackles, but
but they literally picked their forwards. They picked big boppers to just tackle, which didn't. So I don't think they'll change that strat. I still think I expect Toto and Tedesco and Tupou to run for over 200 meters, which is that's fine. But I think it's to slow down. These forwards are being picked. You know, your Angus Crichtons have been picked because they're mobile, and it's to slow down the Queensland line speed. And then Appy's in there to put some pressure on through the middle. Then when the game fatigues a little bit, Cook comes off the bench and can start playing in front of a pack that's not getting steamrolled. That's the plan by looks of it.
Yeah. I would have liked to see probably Payne Haas come off the bench and have Bolo start the game. Because at the start of the game, there's no part. The forwards don't pass the ball. Like you fucking that's a tussle, right? Whereas Payne Haas is consistent throughout the whole match. Doesn't matter what happens, he'll get his post-contact meters. He might get a fast play of the ball, but whether it's when his opponents are fresh or when they're tired, the same shit happens.
Yeah.
Whereas if you put Paulo in early, it stops him from playing the way he did in game one. Game one, he came off the bench where things were meant to open up. So he fell into this fucking extra lock ball playing thing, and he was a pussy.
Yeah.
But if you saw the game against the Roosters, he fucking set a career high in meters, mate. He was just
so did Campbell Gillard.
Everyone.
They both ran for over. Campbell Gillard ran for over 200 meters.
Yeah, they went bonkers. But I think if you put Paulo,
but that's also a strategy.
His only mission is pump Papali. If he outperforms Papali, he wins. Both of them, Papali'i and Bolo. If his mission is just to outperform him for the first 20 minutes in meters made and post-contact meters, New South Wales have a good chance. Whereas, I wouldn't have Payne on there fresh because defensively he's a blanket. Like he's just cuddling blokes. But look, I don't go for the Blues. I hope they lose, but that's just what I'm thinking. But no, outside of that, I think it's pretty good. I have question marks. Maybe you can answer this. I think Matt Burton offensively he can do really well in the centers. How do you think he'll go defensively though?
No, I think he'll be fine, to be honest. He played the whole season at Penrith last year and they won a comp there. So if he was
but a liability is elite though, right?
Yeah, but if there was a live they would have picked him out by now. I think, I know that Penrith usually play on the front foot and don't have to do a lot of defending as well. So I think he'll be fine, to be honest. Because he'll be playing inside Tupou and Cleary's side. That would be. He's playing on. He'd be playing on the right side, I think. Well, no, left. No, Toto and Crichton play right, so it'd be Luai. Yeah, it'd be Luai's side. So
if I was Cam Smith, I'd be targeting this bloke, just testing.
But to be honest, I can't see a weakness there. But they shouldn't be picking players because they're worried about they should be just picking players who I think are going to scare Queensland. And I think his kicking game is. I hope he gets to get a hold of a few because fuck, he can kick a ball. It's so good. If anyone hasn't seen it live, go live to a game with Burton. And you can hear when he hits the ball, the thud it makes. It's scary.
It's arousing.
It is very arousing. After a couple of beers, you want to make love to his boot.
Just to his feet.
Just to his feet. You foot fetish people, fucking get in.
Get on the Katoni Stags on Matt Burton. I think the smart thing to do for the Blues is you never let Luai kick the ball. And it's only Cleary and Burton. Like if it's the last tackle, swap positions or something. Because Luai's kicks I could catch those. It's simple over and unders every single time. Yeah, we had 3 years of simple over unders at the Broncos, mate. There's no pressure happening there. So, what else do we have? Crichton. I think Crichton's going to be fine. I've got no issues with him starting. He should have started game one, to be honest.
And I also think with him in that first game, because he came on so late, he's sitting there for like an hour. Emotion is just killing him, nerves and everything. Gets on, makes an error, gets penalised for a bad tackle. If he starts the game, I think those nerves wouldn't be as prevalent. I think as well, because I think they just used him as a panic, get him on.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me why they played him like that, because he is literally playing centres in a team that has been so dominant for 2 years, and they pick someone who's played a good handful of games in one season and Tony Staggs over him.
Yeah. I got good reason to believe that he probably wouldn't have played at all in that first game, because he only came
If
on.
If New South Wales were winning, exactly. And if New South Wales were winning, I don't think Staggs' shoulder would have been sore, because they can't seem to find where it went wrong.
Yeah, he came off the field. He didn't play the rest of the game, and then he played the week after.
And NRL Physio on Twitter couldn't find the video or any footage of where the injury occurred. It was a mystery. So if New South Wales are winning, I reckon he stays on the field and Crichton never gets on. So
yeah, and it was just a corked shoulder. Like, that must happen all the time. You're tackling people with your shoulders all the time.
You're playing Origin, mate. Like, just push through, brother. You're playing Origin, the biggest game in your life. Push through.
And you'd have adrenaline pumping through. So question marks on that one. Let's talk about Queensland for a second. Actually, for a couple of minutes. Not too many changes out of Queensland. We do have Tuolungi coming in place of Xavier Coates. I think that was an obvious pick. A lot of people wanted Oates, but I wanted Oates. But I also thought Tuolungi will get that crack. He's young.
Wasn't it down to him and the Hammer?
Him and the Hammer, yeah. Oates wasn't even. Well, Oates is listed in the reserves, and the Hammer isn't, which is strange. Because if it was down to the Hammer and Tuolungi, wouldn't you take them both?
Makes sense, but
yeah. But what are your thoughts on Tuolungi getting a run?
He's playing in a form team at the moment. Cowboys are legit, as I said last week, and they show that they can win games when they shouldn't be winning, which is a sign of a form team. The only thing, as I said, with Queensland, the game one, is the difference between New South Wales and Queensland. New South Wales have depth. Queensland get a few injuries. You start to see some of these names come in. Well, but if this at round one, would you have had him in your Queensland team? No. Game one, it's that's the only question mark, is that depth starts tested, and like a lot of those boys played out of their skins and played the best game they've played. But it's starting to look like a very thin team, and if it goes to a game three and there's a couple more, because I know Cotter's gone, right? He's 6 weeks or something.
I think he's gone.
So the Warriors, if they do get to a game three and they have another injury or two, that's when that team will start to look thin. But no, I think he deserves. I don't think Oates deserves to get in. I'd say he's the form winger. So
yeah, I think Oates is playing career best footy right now, but the games move past him. Even he's playing. He's never played better, but there are other wingers still better than him.
Correct.
And I think it's the right call to have Tuolungi in there, because in State of Origin, you don't get many opportunities to score a try. You don't get many, and you need to ice them. Like, if you think of Queensland's tries, Gagai's one was, even though we see those types of tries quite often, it's fucking freakish. It's a cutout pass which bounces the Cobbo, tight ropes the sideline, kicks it in for Gagai to score. Right?
Yeah.
Freakish try. There's a very small window of success there. What's the other one? The cutout ball to Val Holmes.
Yep.
Cherry Evans off the scrum. That's all they had, right?
Correct.
Like,
3 tries.
You don't get many opportunities, and the Blues had Wyden cross, and then you had Murray cross late. So you don't get many opportunities. I think Tuolungi is a much better finisher than Corey Oates is. Corey Oates can make more meters. This year he's been very good under the high ball. Defensively, they're pretty much very similar, but I think Tuolungi is a better finisher. So I'm happy with keeping him there. The other one, we know that Cotter is out. Fucked his hammy in the warm-up. So they've only made slight adjustments. They've moved Tino to lock. instead of Cotter. And they brought Lindsay Collins in to start and Jai Arrow off the bench. Now, Lindsay Collins was fucking awesome in game one. I questioned why was he even there because he done nothing all year. And this bloke was holding it like a fucking apple and just sprint. Like he was a madman. But even the game against Parramatta, he was really good. Lindsay
Yeah, he
Collins,
was actually.
he's fucking fearless, that guy. He's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised he's got 6 teeth left. Like he's just fucking crazy.
He's got a
He's got, yeah. So I'm happy to see him start, to be honest. I think he's been excellent. I think Jai Arrow is probably just a safer option to have off the bench because I think it would have been either him or Tom Dearden. Jai Arrow is one of those guys who play shit all year. Then you put a Queensland jersey on and, he's a bit of a fucking dickhead, but he rips in. He goes all right. But then outside that, it's very much the same team.
You wouldn't have started Paddy Carrigan at lock?
No, because similar to Payne Haas, starter games is I don't think because Carrigan's not that guy that operates at 110% for a long time. He'll just stay at 90, and he can do that for 80 minutes. Similar to Payne Haas, like they just operate at 90. So I don't think he'll be much use for that first 20 minutes, and because he doesn't have that impact that you need. He's quite conservative. He's quite safe, but you've already got players like Tino is like that. Because Tino's not bashing through the front door. He just works really hard. Whereas you have someone like Lindsay Collins who'll gas himself after 15, 20 minutes. Same as Papali'i. They can blow a game wide open. And if they can dominate that first 20 minutes, it's pretty important. And then bring Carrigan on when it softens up a little bit.
Right.
I'm happy. Even Jairo, I wouldn't want to start him because he's another guy that's not extremely impactful.
Yeah.
I think the main thing for me with Carrigan, he's always upright. And I said this last year early in the year when I was talking shit about him, but the way he plays hasn't changed. He's very upright all the time. And then, he puts shots on, but he never makes the tackle. He just hits people really hard. People bounce everywhere. So, yeah, I wouldn't have Carrigan in the first 20 minutes. Not this year. Maybe next year we can look at it. But I think the lineup's good for Queensland. Here's a question for you: who didn't play well in game one that has to play better in game two? Both teams.
New South Wales would be the obvious. Be Cleary. He didn't play well. Even people come out saying, "Oh, they'll dominate in the middle as a forward pack on backwards." There were even a couple of kicks early on that he kicked too deep. Didn't quite hit the mark. So even by his standard, he needs to be better. That'd be probably I'd say he would be the one who has the highest ceiling for improvement. A lot of those players play. Like Liam Martin didn't play well, but when Cleary is probably one of the best players in the comp and he's not at his best, that's where I think he needs to be better. Queensland, it's weird, but probably Ponga. I know he set up that try. I know he set up that one. I know there was many tries scored, but I don't think as a fullback, like I don't know if I look back a couple of years ago, he'd have spiders on him when he ran the ball. And now he doesn't seem to have that effect. I think, to be honest, Val Holmes played fucking incredible and covered for a lot of that shit that Ponga was. I think there was a tackle he made where Ponga should have got back for. Ponga was probably the one who's got the. But there wasn't many. The whole Queensland team were good the other week, so I'd probably go Ponga needs to improve out of that lineup because the rest of them, like going through, were awesome. What do you have?
Outside of Cleary, because for me the benchmark for Cleary in State of Origin is like Jonathan Thurston. Like that guy can play behind a losing pack for 80 minutes and still win somehow. And I think Cleary's ceiling is JT. I reckon he can do it. Potentially to be the best halfback New South Wales has ever had outside Andrew Johns. He probably already is, to be honest.
Well, it depends on the club form, but if Penrith all the way and win the comp again, then you'd start to put him up in that category because his Origin record isn't that bad either. I think he's only lost the one Origin series. I think he's won 3, lost 1. So his stats wise, he wins. But it's just classic New South Wales history with
turned
the
on him
media.
straight away too.
Yeah, the media will turn on him
Oh,
after
no.
one bad game. But not credit the fact that Queensland were fucking awesome. Like if Queensland played shit and won, then I can understand it. But
Yeah.
like they were fucking incredible. Like
Yeah. The engine room was awesome. The engine room was great. Val Holmes was fantastic. Munster was Origin Munster. I thought Cherry Evans was pretty quiet. His kicking game wasn't great. His running game was okay,
good point.
but his kicking game wasn't good either.
Mm.
There was him and Cleary were pretty average with the boot. Ben Hunt was solid, but Harry Grant was awesome. And we know that the Queensland forwards aimed up. So I think there's a lot more room for improvement from New South Wales, but I think Queensland can also be better. Who else am I looking at here? I think, I'd agree with the Ponga part. He only came alive for like 10 minutes in that game, and a lot of it was just off the back of Munster. Because as if Ponga only plays down the left. I don't see him do anything on the right side. Like,
He's a right to left, which is a lot of players, passer, but he's not threatening on that left hand side at all. So
yeah, and I think that's going to go into part of my bet section, knowing that Queensland aren't doing anything on the right. Like Cobbo's a try scoring machine, but at least Brisbane go right. They got Staggs and Cobbo. Whereas Queensland aren't going that way. That's Cherry Evans' side. He's not creating anything.
no.
I think Felice Kafusi is the main target on that side. I think Cherry's too scared to go long. He's just going short all the time.
Yeah.
It's just Felice. Like Gagai was quiet. He was built for Origin, but apart from his try, it didn't seem like he was doing too much. So there's some opportunities there. Let's talk a little bit about punting. Now, Origin's actually quite difficult to punt on, I must say, in comparison just to your normal rugby league games. And the reason being is with your normal rugby league games, you can almost predict I can predict how 6 out of 8 games are going to go looking at my record. Whereas the State of Origin, it's not easy. It's not easy to predict how it's going to go unless there's a clear favorite.
Yeah.
So for this one, New South Wales are $1.71, Queensland are $2.15. That's moved since I last looked at it only a couple of hours ago. So
something's probably happened.
Money's coming in for the Blues, but I'm a little bit torn on this one because I'm hearing a lot of people, especially off the back of Freddie's changes, a lot of people talking about Queensland. There's potential to be a wash. And when there's so much of the media and the public taking Queensland, my first instance is always to fade and take the Blues. So I'm trying not to be so biased in this one. Well, it's easy for me to be that biased because I don't love Queensland the way I do the Broncos. Like I can see things clearly for this one. I don't know. I do like the Blues, but I only to fade the public. What are your thoughts? Can you look at this like responsibly, or are you...
Yeah, I can look at it responsibly. I think it's going to be very close.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like my best bet is just taking the try bet. Either team by 10 or less is $1.81.
Yeah.
Like that's 10 or less. I can't see either team blowing
You don't see it blowing out.
No. I just think similar to game one, it'll come down to the last 10 minutes. And your bet's pretty much going to be safe then, pretty much. Like it's either team 10 or less, $1.81. I can't see Queensland putting 13 plus on unless, like I know you said Queensland had a bit of improvement, but I don't think they have much improvement in them.
No,
Yeah, I still think those players are still a few years away from their best. So your Cobbos and your Carrigans and Nanais and all those boys, they're still a few years away from their best football, whereas the Blues have a lot of improvement in them. Even if they do improve out of sight, the only question mark is when you make 7 changes, need to click and gel, and they're not going to be firing all cylinders for the first 20 minutes. So it's going to be close. Either team by 10 or less, $1.81 on sports bet. Seems like
game
right
2
to me.
last year was the closest one out of all 3. That was the closest game. 2-point game, that one at Suncorp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the odds should be a lot closer, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I know you say fade the public, but when in doubt, I usually take the underdogs. And I would not be upset taking Queensland at 2.15, considering they won game 1 in Sydney. This is a neutral venue.
Yeah.
It does set it up though, because New South Wales obviously has to win, because then if it goes to game 3 at Suncorp, you get the likes of Latrell Mitchell back in that team, and do you keep what's worked? It's a very interesting
Jack Whiten could be
scenario.
back.
Whiten will be pretty much fit, and you have Latrell who'll be fit. And do you punt the 2 centers who won your game 2
again?
So that'll be again. So that's obviously a thought for ahead, but I think New South Wales definitely picked a different team. It's going to be a different strategy. I don't know if Queensland can get a lot better. So I think that 6 points.
Yeah.
I can't see an 18-point swing based on the teams picked. But
question. I think you're the only man qualified enough to answer this. Well, out of the two of us.
In this group,
So, New South Wales has more Penrith players in an Appy there, right?
Yeah.
What about their attack is going to be different now compared to game 1?
So there are certain times in game 1 where obviously New South Wales didn't get a lot of roll forward, but there were times they did get a quick play of the ball. And it happened quite often what Cook would do 99% of the time. And Teddy would pick up the ball and they'd run. Yeah. And Cook quite often sometimes would stop at the line, then turn and look for the halves who were waiting for. Whereas if you watch Penrith play, if there's a very quick play of the ball in an attacking position, it gets to Cleary, Luai's hands nearly instantly. And then they just send those backs through. Like if you look at that game against the Warriors, a lot of those tries, there was one, the last one I think it was, that Toto scored. There was a quick play of the ball. It went Luai. Luai then realized there wasn't a chance and went back across the other way. That's usually how Penrith play. When Appy runs, it's usually not the defense is retreating a little bit, but it's usually a lazy marker or something, and he gets in behind and then he ducks his head into the line. Whereas Cook will go every single time there's a quick play of the ball. So Cleary was just getting the ball. Yeah, Cleary was catching the ball and getting swamped quite often. So that's, I think, where they're going with it, because, again, Cook will be effective if the forward pack's rolling forward all the time, where it wasn't. But then when it did it occasionally, he ran every time instead of going, give it to the halves and let them create something. So
yeah. Okay. That's a good point, because when I think about it, the way Cook plays, especially for South, whenever they go forward, he goes early, because Cody Walker's the one that orchestrates everything.
Yeah.
But it's not like he orchestrates it off a quick play of the ball.
Yeah.
Cody Walker's more effective when he just has the numbers.
Yeah. And I think you're seeing South. Yeah, I think you're seeing South as a product of that issue at the moment is, I think, Cook's. And I think also Cook's getting a bit older with age. He's not as quick and as explosive as he used to be. So he's not. And the game has gone back a bit in terms of pace compared to the 6 again. The craziness of the set restarts, where his running game was just opening up everyone. But
yeah, it's disgusting.
So I think that's the big difference with bringing Appy in. And it just changes them around, keeps them fresh. Cook in game 1 was playing 80 minutes against 2 hookers who are absolute very high quality players. So
yeah, that's a good point. So you can expect to see some more expansive football from the Blues.
Yeah.
Have you checked the weather for this game on Sunday?
No, I haven't.
You know what the weather's going to be like?
I'm going to guess 22, 23 degrees.
No, I don't know. I didn't check it. I'm just thinking that could really shape how they play. So
I'll have a look now.
But no, I agree. I think it's going to be a close game. I think
22. It should be around 15, 16 degrees. No rain
throughout the whole week.
No, there's rain Thursday.
Okay, Sunday.
A little bit. Yeah, Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday clear.
Okay, all right. Weather's going to be fantastic. I'm thinking Queensland 1-12.
350 is that paying?
340. Queensland 1-12. That's what I'm thinking. That might be one piece of my pie. What do you think about total points though? Total points in game 1 went way under. The line set at 38.5. I think game 1 was 36.5. At the moment, it's 38.5.
I think it could go over. It's weird to say it, but I think it could go over. I think Freddie's come out all week and talked about speaking to the ref about slowing down the ruck. So I think you might get a more open and faster ruck, particularly 10, 20 minutes out. So I think both teams will have more attacking opportunities.
Yeah. You think the refs change how they ref the game based off the noise around Queensland slowing down the ruck?
Yeah, they'll deny it, but 100% they will. Phil would have gone in there saying they weren't 10 meters back. They were slowing down, keep an eye on it, and they'll say, "Yeah, we'll ref it both ways," which I think so. Then it will go both ways. It will speed up both sides and struggle.
He's done a bit of a Wayne Bennett, just influencing the ref for any future games. Yeah, and I think it's smart because if it becomes a high scoring game, I do like the Blues side a bit better to score points.
Yeah,
because it's not Queensland don't necessarily have strike,
No,
not
and it's that left hand edge too. They're heavily relying on. They're relying on one side scoring all the points.
And their strike is it's play. Their playmakers are the strike. Like Val Holmes, not like they don't have anyone beating anybody 1-on-1. You got Ponga and Munster, who are probably the only ones capable of doing that, but they're the ones who should be setting things up. In the past, you had like fucking Israel Folau or Greg Inglis or Billy Slater, fucking game breakers. Whereas New South Wales still have Teddy, who, despite his older age, he's a fucking monster. And Cleary's shown that these outside backs for Penrith, he can make things a lot easier for them. So I think if it becomes a faster game and it is a bit more open, I think the Blues will get the win in that space. So Queensland would need to slow it down. So it'd be interesting to see how the refs go. Might even be worth a good live bet, seeing how it's officiated for the first 10 minutes.
True. You can also look at just games in Perth in general. Much of a ground man, but I'm assuming AFL, maybe look at SCG, they play on a harder ground. It's like a faster deck.
It looks like
compared to an NRL. Like Telstra, of course, they should say is just like a goat track.
That's a slow track.
Yeah, it's a very slow track, whereas I think Perth Stadium's a bit faster. So
the grass
should promote some quicker football.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so given that, I think we should see more points here, which leans to more try scorers. And if you're a degenerate who bets on NRL, even though I know I shouldn't, I still bet on try scorers. Like the Fox fucked me out of a $15 multi. I got caught in the hype for that one last week. So
yeah, two or more. Fuck. We had Avarillo covered up very early.
Yeah, but no, it does lead to more try scorers. Who do you think scores a try? And I want you to talk me through how you see it happening. Let's get your fucking crystal ball out.
All right, mine's nothing too. Everyone's going to know how he's going to score it, but I got Matt Burton at 280. He's just going to hit that left foot step, or he's going to do the same thing he did in the grand final and run. Matt Burton runs fantastic lines, like incredible attacking lines, and I think that's how he's going to score because I'm hoping Queensland forget that he played centre at Penrith last year and how he attacked, and they could think about him, how are we going to stop him from kicking the ball? Because he's going to hit that hole or just go himself off a left foot step. So 280 he's paying. I think that's absolute value. I don't like Tupou's chances at 218 just purely because, I think Burton's going to hold it more. Similar to Crichton. Not Crichton. White in game one. He's not going to pass. He should. He's going to go himself.
I reckon that's it. I really like that one because I think Queensland are soft over there. Like Gagai is outsized, clearly by Burton. And Cherry Evans isn't a great defender.
No.
Like a lot of the times he tackles with his legs. He's one of those guys that grabs and trips. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And I think if Burton does run that line, I think we could say, well, both tries were scored just around Cherry Evans, weren't they? Cam Murray on the inside and Whiten on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, so Jackie Boy not there, but I think Burton's a good shout. What do I foresee as a try for this one?
Is Munster at $4 jump out at you?
Yes, because I was thinking Munster. I think he's he's gonna skip through the line somehow. That guy's a
Yeah.
fucking freak. Like he's covered in Vaseline or something.
Yeah, he's
Semen.
Vaseline.
I don't know what it is. Covered in semen.
All
and
over
I
him.
think I can just see him probably He'll be slicing through one, and then he'll be going 1-on-1 of Teddy. But then I can also see Ponga up the arse, backing him in, or even Harry Grant backing him up. One of those two. And for some reason, I can see a nice little crash play happening from Kurt Capewell. I don't know. He seems to be.
590.
He's very long. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
dangly.
he's been scoring some tries for Brisbane, and he never gets his body over the line.
Yeah.
His body's never over the line. It's always a reach out try because he's got the same moves. He hits and spins more than anyone.
Yeah.
He loves the old hit and spin, and it gets him an extra meter or two every time. For some reason, I can just see him stretching out and getting over. I don't see Val Holmes scoring a try unless he gets moved to the wing. I don't see this. I don't see the centers crashing over that way. Who else do I? What about in the forwards? So talk me through some value. So I think Capewell can get over. What about for New South Wales? Cam Murray's 580, and he's still playing in the second row. Still going to be running at Cherry Evans. But
I think I would take Liam Martin at 5'10".
because he's
I think he's been
Cleary's
probably
side.
and he's
Yeah.
probably been given direction to start running the ball more.
Yeah.
Like that short ball to him, and he'll hit a hole. He's in.
What about Appy or Damien Cook?
Appy hasn't been, scoring a lot of tries.
He scored in State of Origin
Scored.
last time, didn't he?
He did. He's played one game for one try.
Yeah.
Possible, but even this year for Penrith, it hasn't. It's him been going going past every time. He hasn't run a lot, so it's possible. I'm just trying to bring up how many tries he scored this year. He scored. Apologies, Wi-Fi. He scored 2 tries in 15 games.
Yeah.
It's doable.
I'm looking at the odds for the forwards, and it's quite flawed. Like, Appy and Cook are paying the same as Payne Haas to score a try.
Yeah, some of the try scorer markets have gone to shit in terms of value. You used to get some really good juicy odds, but they've just gone to a point where fuck it, with too much risk. Let's just put everyone at $5.50, $6 instead of putting people on tens. Like Alex Twal has not scored a try in his career, and I think he's like $15 anytime.
Yeah, it should be $100.
It should be 100 to 1 now. And he's out for the season, but he never fucking scores. How can someone who never achieved it in 100?
If you're going to rinse us with shit odds, at least give us $50.
Yeah, he should be that by those odds. He should have scored 15 tries in his career already at least, but he hasn't. He's scored none. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. What about player of the match? I'm having a look at it here. Cleary's at $4.50, Munster at $5.50, Teddy at $7, DC at $8.50, and Luai at $13. So clearly, we're looking at the halves and Teddy.
Yeah, I would honestly. Cleary doesn't ever really feature in these markets. It's because it's something like Teddy's stats are through the roof. I'll go Teddy. Yeah. How much was Teddy, did you say?
$7. I think Cleary's way too short. $4.50.
No.
Because,
The only way Cleary wins it is if he does something like he did in the NRL Grand Final, where he absolutely puts on an absolute masterclass. But there's too much striking that New South Wales team, and too much, those point stealers, we'll call them. Cleary plays at Penrith with Dylan Edwards, who's severely underrated. Arguably does the same amount of work rate as Teddy does, but because it's Tedesco, it looks incredible. So, I think Tedesco. What's Munster?
$5.50.
That's crazy. Munster should be $4.50 favorite.
Yeah.
Munster could get it in a losing team. He's that good.
You know who's got some juicy odds here? Harry Grant at $19.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was really good in game one. He wasn't as good as Munster or Carrigan or Cotter, right? But Harrigan was awesome. The impact he had was fucking. And all it takes is if he plays the same way he did in game one, but happens to score a try, for example, you know,
It's value. What about the wingers? Or
wingers
what's
don't get man of the match.
that score 3 tries? They will. That's what I'm thinking. Nah, probably not. What's
What about-
Isaiah?
What about he's at $15. I was thinking,
There's
what
your-
if one of the
There's
forwards
your
had a
value.
fucking monster of a game? 250
Isaiah.
meters, 50 tackles. He could get a try assist, Isaiah Yeo as well.
Isaiah is he's $15. I hit him, and fuck, it'd be hard to get past Munster.
Yeah.
In terms of value in the forwards,
If Cam Murray
even
was playing
Tino.
lock,
What's
that'd be a good
Tino?
shout.
What's Tino paying?
Tino's paying $20, and he's playing lock, so he should play close to 80 minutes.
That's what I'm looking at. His stats will be through the roof.
Yeah,
But
he'll get through a shit ton of work.
Yo has to be up there. If you think about how it's voted and judged on, it's voted very similar to Dalian.
Yeah.
Yo is second, I think, before it went behind closed doors, or third behind Ben Hunt. One of the two.
Ben Hunt.
Yeah, so he's obviously getting man of the matches in those games. Again, that's why I don't think Cleary will get it, because he can't even win in his own team at the moment. It's Isaiah Yeo getting the points.
Yeah, I think that's a massive trap there. That Cleary one's a trap. So if you're listening, fucking don't touch that shit.
You watch Cleary win man of the match this weekend.
Got 3 try assists.
450 is too short, though. Like, it's unbelievably short.
Ponga's knocking it on all over the place. Kicks a 40-20. Kicks a field goal. Just that's what Cleary's got to do.
Yeah, because the problem is if they win by too much, it most likely will go to Tedesco or someone. Unless Cleary scores 3 tries on his own, which I doubt he will. That was the problem last year. He was pulling strings, but it was because Latrell and Travojevic were on the end of everything.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Who do we have? Proven Origin performers. You got Papa Lee at $101, but I think he's over the hill. He only played 25 minutes in the first game. And even for Canberra, he's not even the best forward they have anymore.
Nope, not even close.
Dane Gagai loves Origin. Quiet in game one, $71.
Oof.
You know that game Capewell played when they put him in the centres? Did he win man of the match in one of those games, or was it just
because that was Latrell and Turbo.
Latrell and Turbo.
Yeah, he was up, but in his defense, again, he was up against them. But maybe when they did win that series, I think he played centre, but I don't think he was. I think Munster and
Munster went off. He only played 2 games in that series, but I think he won man of the match when Queensland won.
Yeah,
it's hard to go past Munster, eh?
Yeah, just because, and he's also, I'm assuming this is voted on by the Channel 9 commentary team. They fucking froth over him, and
Joey.
And Joey's turned into an anti-New South Wales person a bit too. So he'll if Cleary's not having a perfect game, Joey will not, talk him up like he talks Munster up. So I think it's a good shout. It's the same with Teddy, man. Channel 9 love Teddy. They don't mind. Obviously, they like Cleary, but they love Teddy, love Munster. That's why I would play those ones. But Isaiah Yeo is what Joey loves Isaiah Yeo also, just the way he links up and connects with the heart. So just do that. Just pick the
tip.
All right, sweet. Looking into just the BYO markets, I'll tell you what catches my eye, and you tell me if I'm fucking drunk or not. My eye is Val Holmes to score 14 points at $4.25. But the reason why I'm calling that out is Cleary to score 14 points is the same odds. Is that fucking cooked or what?
Very, because Cleary's not a try. Cleary's only scored 2 tries this year as well. So they're expecting him to kick 5 conversions and a try, basically.
That's fucking a lot of points.
That's a lot. That's New South Wales.
That's a lot for both of them, actually.
Him essentially kicking 5 from 5 and scoring 1 himself. Nah, they're drunk.
Yeah, and even for Val Holmes to get this one, Queensland has to score 30 points. He's got to kick all the goals and score one of the tries himself. So
yeah,
I don't like that at all. Now I think about it.
Nah.
425 sucks.
A lot of these BYO markets suck as well. I just had a look at them. They're not very good at the moment. They might juice them up, but even like the long shot ones, Queensland to score 4 or more tries in each half, $61. Any two of Teddy, Cobbo, Munster to score 2 or more tries, it's 31. No, there's not. 2 of them aren't getting doubles. Cam Munster score 1 or more tries in each half, 29. That's shit as well.
Yeah.
Nah. Queensland score 3 tries in each half, $12.
Yeah. They're all fucking shit.
Tonga, Cobbo, Holmes, Gagai, Tuolangi to combine for 5 or more tries, $11. Queensland's going to be lucky to score 5 tries, yet alone it has to be all 5 of those guys contributing.
Nah, 5 tries. I don't think they score 5, and if they do, every single one of them going to come from those guys?
No,
yeah. I'm not touching these markets. I don't like them at all for this game.
Neither.
All right, this is what I'm going with for the podcast. I'll have a lot more for the game, I'm sure. I am going to build this right now to give you some juicy odds, and what's what I'm thinking. So on Sportsbet, we've got the same game multi insurance special, where if it doesn't win, you get your money back. Doesn't matter how many legs you're off. You just need 3 of them. If it doesn't win, you get your money back. But I'm all about getting dubs. So Queensland 1-12 into total points over. I foresee this at like a 26-16 scoreline. I just had to do the maths quickly just to make sure that it does equal over, and it does. So those two, $6.25, and I'm going New South Wales to win the first half.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, I just can't find the first half market because it's not there. Okay. Oh, there's a first half handicap. New South Wales minus 0.5.
Yeah, that's the win first half.
Pretty much. So I'm looking at $17.25.
Ooh, I think not bad.
I think New South Wales go up either 2 points ahead or 1 try ahead at half time.
Yeah.
And Queensland does that thing where they, Gus loves it. Andrew Johns loves that shit where talk about Queenslanders coming back and never giving up, all that type of bullshit. That's going to be the narrative for this game.
Not bad.
What do you got?
All right, mine's 3 legs. I got New South Wales 1-12, over 38.5, and Burton anytime paying $12.75.
Oh, I do like the Burton one. I do. Burton first half anytime.
Oof.
Because if my narrative is right, he's not scoring in the second half. Queensland are coming to get him.
The only, if you add in, if you put in Crichton, it's less, which makes no sense because Crichton's paying more to score. But anyway, that's sports bet for you. Like, honestly, if you do the same multi, take Burton out, Burton's paying $2.80, and put in 5, you get $11.50. But you put in someone who's paying less for any time, it's $12.75. Always look for bugs in the apps, boys, because that does not make any sense. Because Crichton should be essentially driving a slightly higher odds, but
and I think one tip for the punters and even for yourself, young Luke, is if you're going to lay down heaps of same game multis on this game, start putting them on now. Put them on every day and just use your bet returns. You get new ones every day.
It's good, man. Smart.
Yeah. Get all your money back. So I get 5 bet returns a day, and with nothing to punt on until the AFL on Thursday. Plus the AFL giving you a free bet return as well for every game. It's bonus bets crawling out of my ass. So I've got that one. Let me see if I add Burden in to score a try in the first half too. It just suits my narrative very well. $4.90.
That's going to juice her up.
I'll tell you the other thing, and this is what I've also done as part of my profitable strategy. To use my bet returns, I just pick an anytime try scorer, and then the 2 safest legs I can find, like total points under 60 something or over 8.5 total points or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And if you're keen on a few anytime try scorers, I might do that throughout the week as well, because I do like that Burden one. I like it a lot. I might even do this like Burden anytime. Have that as one bet with 2 safe legs. Burden anytime in the first half. I like that as well.
Oof.
So I'll take Capewell. Cam Murray again. Who knows? But man, I can't wait. And this is the fucking thing. Sunday football, man, is so long away. So long.
I know. We've got a couple other football games on between.
Yeah, but I don't know what's going to happen in them. I know Samoa's going to pump. Tonga and New Zealand should be close and entertaining. Yeah, Samoa's going to pump.
I don't know.
I don't even know what the line is on that one, but I assume it'll be huge. I think the Cook Islands have 3 NRL players in it.
It's currently 32.5.
Oh,
it's a big one.
They're going to pump.
Yeah.
So 50 plus try scorers everywhere. But I don't know. When Saturday will be all those games on Saturday, all of them?
Yeah.
So that's still a long way too.
No, Women's State of Origin Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a long way away.
It is. All right, sweet. Well, you got anything more you want to discuss? Any other bets? Any other thoughts? Anything we may have missed?
No, I just wanted to say we are so close to 600 members in Discord. We're at 594 members, so 6 away. Let's hope we can hit that before next Tuesday's potty, where we'll probably try and get a guest on, because I should have good internet, and we can then get back to the old potties with guests on board. There was a couple of requests there for War Daddy and Deltoids. So, boys, toughen up. Let's go.
Get ready. You just got to bite down and go for it.
We should. If you guys are scared, we'll put you both on at the same time together, if that helps your fears. Like, you go in together.
They are scared. That's exactly what it is. Sweet. Well, let's wrap this son of a bitch up. Good luck to all your punters. Hope you learned something new today. Up the Maroons.